What's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of Career Mode. This is episode number 197. And we start today's stuff with some player training before diving into our first of 3 games today away in Belgium against KRC Genk in the first leg of our round of 32 clash in the Europa League. Both legs coming today, and sandwiched in between this European tie, we've got a big battle in the Premier League away on the south coast against relegation threatened Southampton. And heading into today's episode, of course, in the last episode you saw transfer deadline day where we sold Locatelli and bought back Eze to Bramall Lane. Right now we're currently inside the top 4 in the Premier League for the first time since I've returned to Sheffield United with 12 games to go. So destiny is in our own hands to qualify for the Champions League. But as we also know, there's another route to get there as well, and that's by winning the Europa League. In our final season with the Blades back in Season 4, we did just that. We won the Europa League to qualify for the Champions League for Season 5. Of course, we never stayed on with Sheffield United and led them into the Champions League. However, as we've come back, I've announced I'm here to stay for the foreseeable future. And I know how tight it is right now in the race for 4th place. There's like 3 or 4 teams that have got a fantastic chance of finishing in that 4th and final Champions League spot. I would say right now, even though there's a lot of fantastic teams remaining in the Europa League, we've won this competition before. It's actually my only honour won with Sheffield United in the 4 seasons we were there. I'm targeting winning it once again. It's what the board want, and it's what I want as well. I want to win this Europa League just like we did back in Season 4. So heading to the game, did decide to make a lot of changes after our win against Bristol City, but I still felt very confident we'd get a solid first leg result here away in Belgium. And just 8 minutes in, this young man is really stepping up in recent weeks. It's his 3rd goal in 4 games. Brandon Lewis gets another 1-0 to the Blades, and 8 minutes in we already had that away goal. Lovely little ball through by Gorbels, great first touch by Brandon as well, and a solid finish in the near post as he beats Martin van der Voort, one of the best young goalkeepers you can buy in this year's career mode, as he opens to score and makes it 1-0. And really the hosts in this first half didn't really threaten at all. We should have been leading by 2 here in the 42nd minute. Gorbels slicing this shot wide as we still only led by 1, but it seemed like it was just a matter of time before we could find that second goal. I wanted a 2-goal cushion before the break. We had a great chance to get it as Morelos rolled him through, and it's that man again, Brandon Lewis, 4 in 4 for the number 33. And since we've returned here to Bramall Lane, you'd say Tony's been our best player since we re-signed him, considering his goals. Elliot Harris has been great. David Turnbull has been really solid as well. But Brandon Lewis, he's making a name for himself from the bench. I love those sort of squad players you have that whenever you play them, they always put in a good shift. They never complain about game time. They just step out onto the pitch, lace their boots up, and deliver the goods. And he was at the heart of everything in this game. He always got an assist here in the 59th minute to add to the brace he scored in the first half. Great save by Van der Voort, and Griffiths' follow-up chip went over the bar behind for a goal kick. But it was just attack versus defence really all throughout the game. It was just how many goals we could score in this game away in Belgium, and what sort of a lead we'd had heading back to the second leg at Bramall Lane. 66 minutes in, Tyler Griffiths down the right, rolls it across. There he is again. He was so close to his match ball. Lewis denied by Van der Voort, but I was playing for him at this stage because he was just absolutely tearing things up. Still leading by 2 at the heart of everything. And with 6 minutes to go, looking for that 3rd goal to surely put daylight between the 2 sides, heading back to England for the second leg as Leto storms down the right, rolls it across, and I love to see this as well. On for the hat-trick, on for the match ball, but what does Brandon do? He shows he's still a team player. Doesn't shoot with his weaker right foot from a title angle. Instead, he sees that Morelos is in the middle, and Alfredo Morelos, if you remember, in our Europa League winning season back in Season 4, he won the Golden Boot in this competition. That's his 4th this season in the Europa League, and he puts the icing on the cake by making it 3-0 in the dying moments. Morelos was so good for us when we first signed him from Porto, of course, back when we were managing Sheffield United, and good to see him notch of his first goal since we've returned there, as he put the icing on the cake. 3-0 the final score. Lewis in that game was just absolutely head and shoulders above everyone else on the pitch, and that means heading back to the second leg in a week's time, I feel very confident we feel the weakened side for that tie and make it through to the last 16 of the Europa League. And of course that game will be coming just 3 days before our EFL Cup Final against Manchester United. So what a luxury knowing we can field a totally rotated side and have our first team fully fit for the Cup Cup Final appearance away at Wembley. Still, for our second and final game of today's episode, now travelling to the south coast to take on Southampton here away at St Mary's right now, threatened by relegation just above the drop zone right now, as Ralph's side are desperate to cling on to Premier League football for the next season. Heading into this game, though, you saw the league table is so tight right now in the race for that fourth and final Champions League spot. We cannot afford to slip up too many times between now and the end of the season, so this game needed to be a win, and what a fantastic start just before the break in a half of very few chances. The only real one we got fell to Chopper Harris, and I have to say, I talked about Tony, I talked about Turnbull, I talked about Lewis as well, but Chopper Harris has been superb as well. Lovely through ball into Neil's nephew, stops on a dime, turns his man and drills it in. Ralph Hasenhüttl thought there should have been a penalty at the other end. He was not happy with the referee and the fourth official at this moment in time, but I must admit, I thought the referee got it spot on there. I thought I'd include a highlight for you. Tadibo made the challenge as the Saints were storming into our area. I didn't think it was a penalty myself. I thought he won the ball. Yes, he got a lot of the man, but I thought it was a clean challenge. We were on the counter and took the lead. So the Saints might have felt harshly done by there, but I thought the ref made the right call. So 1-0 to the Blades right before the break, and 5 minutes after the restart, the Shocker bags another goal as well. 2 goals at Bramwell Lane against Bristol City, and gets our second goal here as he pulls off the Chris Basham celebration. He's saying thanks to Chris and the ex-pros for the financial takeover back in January. That man celebrating with him, Jayden Bogle, wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the likes of Kyle Walker, Phil Jagielka, Chris Basham, Billy Sharp and more putting their hands into their pockets and giving us £50 million. It's only right we pay homage to Chris Basham there as we make it 2-0 courtesy of Ivan Toney, and 2-0 would soon become 3-0 with 23 minutes to go. Nice through ball to the Shocker and a great finish as well. That's goal number 8 in the Premier League for our number 40, and you know, let's be honest here, he's not going to win the Golden Boot this year. His run of 6 straight is going to get ended, but I'll tell you this right now, it's not like he's had a slow start since going back to Bramwell Lane. The man's been absolutely on fire and the perfect mentor for his strike partner, Elliot Harris. So 3-0 to the Blades. Unfortunately, Southampton would get themselves a consolation goal later on. It was probably going to be nothing than that, but a lovely strike there past Sam Hill made it 3-1, and oh, this was so unfortunate. 81 minutes into the game, Ivan Toney with a lovely little trademark dummy there, buys himself some time and space, but just couldn't squeeze it inside the frame of the goal, clips the outside of the post and goes behind for a goal kick there, as Toney was so close to his first hat-trick since returning to Bramwell Lane. He scored so many hat-tricks in the 4 seasons he spent with the Blades, got quite a few with Roma, a few with Atletico, and I think he only got 1 with Leverkusen. He's still waiting for his first match ball since returning. That was the moment there, and he knew it as well. Put his hands to his head, so close to his first hat-trick since returning, but I'm sure it's just a case of when, not if, he'll get another hat-trick here. He's just as good as ever. It won't be long before he's got another match ball to add to his collection. So yeah, 3-1 the final score. Big win there away on the south coast, and I thought we were really ruthless in that game as well. We didn't really get that many chances, but the chances we did have were really clear cut, very clinical as well when going forward and striking the ball. So yeah, 3-1 the final score as we remain in 4th place, and for our third and final game of today's episode, as we're dreaming of another Europa League victory this series, we take on KRC Genk for the second leg of the Europa League round of 32 here. And as you can see by the lineup, I did decide to field a weekend side for it. Felt very confident with making it through out of our EFL Cup Final appearance on Sunday afternoon. I wanted a fully fit starting 11 for that game, but early on into the game, Cuisance. Oh yeah, I mean, you saw the Southampton goal in the last game. How about this from our number 11? Absolutely glorious goal there. Screamer from the French midfielder as he drills it in and makes it Sheffield United 1, KRC Genk 0. So the Belgian side had to score 3 goals on the night here at Bramwell Lane anyway. That was unlikely as it was regardless. Now they needed 4 goals, and I certainly couldn't see that happening. So the backup brigade doing the job for now, leading by a goal. McBurney almost made it 2-0 there, smacking the post. We still led by 1, but in a game of very few chances, I wanted to clean sheet heading into the game against Manchester United and Wembley on the weekend, but my goodness, what a goal that was, as Genk grabbed themselves a consolation 4 minutes into stoppage time. You know, we have seen since the patch when Ultimate Difficulty became so much more difficult, some incredible goals from the AI, Look at it. This is glorious. This is just a wonderful first touch. Takes it over Tyler Griffiths, and then with the ball bouncing on the turf, it's not the easiest angle for him to strike it there, but it's a wonderful half volley into the top corner. I swear, sometimes, man, the AI just score absolutely sensational goals, and all I can do is just sit there and tip my hat to them, because that was just amazing. Wonderful technique there. And it's 1-1. You know, already this season, we've seen like 2 or 3 goals the AI have scored that have been contenders for goal of the series. Absolutely brilliant goal there. Of course, it's just a consolation goal, but something for the KRC Genk fans to remember on the plane back to Belgium. That was fantastic. But 1-1 the final score on the night. We might not win the game, but we do win the tie. We are into the next round of the Europa League, into the last 16. As you can see, our opponents will be Tottenham Hotspur. Jose Mourinho side in an all-English affair in the round of 16. What a tough tie that's going to be. All 4 of the English sides remaining are playing each other in the last 16, as Arsenal have been drawn against Manchester United. What a tough last 16 tie that's going to be. And whilst we're dreaming of winning that Europa League once again, it's going to be very tough just to make it to the quarterfinals. But that was today's episode of Career Mode, guys. A big thank you for watching. We hope you have enjoyed it. If you enjoyed today's episode, please drop a like. Much love to you all. Have a fantastic day, and I'll see you for next episode very soon. The EFL Cup Final against Manchester United, where we go in search for our first domestic honour with Sheffield United.